Our political insiders back here in our CBS 21 studios. Charlie Giroux for the Republicans, Tony May for the Democrats. Guys, as always, great to have you.
And there's probably only one or two things we can talk about today.
That's
the
right.
shutdown, the debt ceiling, the continuing war of words. We had a local story, though, we led the broadcast with about a local soldier killed in Afghanistan. And Charlie, I'll throw this to you. Speaker Boehner blames the DOD for this, but the death benefits are not being paid right now to the families of these soldiers. At what point is this going to get bad enough that they're going to come to some point where talking happens?
That's the key, Rob. Talking has to happen. In any family where there's conflict, in any business where there's conflict, solutions come from having a conversation. And right now, the Democrats are still in the mode of we won't talk. Ultimately, that's not only politically indefensible, it doesn't work. They're going to negotiate. And I will suggest this. Next week, October 17th, is when the money truly begins to run out. That's when folks will ultimately have to be at the table. There's going to be a resolution here. I mean, frankly, there's a pox on both houses right now. Congressional approval ratings are in the toilet.
Tony, why no conversation?
Because, and I think Charlie would agree with this, you don't negotiate with hostage takers. The Republicans in the Senate, in the House, the conservative wing of the party, has taken the government hostage and is holding government funds hostage to try to get what things that they want that they have failed to get through the democratic process, through the process of legislation that's been the system that the founding fathers set up. I mean, I begin to worry about whether Republicans love freedom more than they love their country. They just don't really have enough love for country to do the right thing here.
Charlie, can the president
First of all, suggesting that people are not patriotic and don't love their country doesn't advance this discussion at all. And that's one of the problems here. The fact of the matter is there has to be a conversation. There has to be negotiation. As Speaker Boehner pointed out this morning, no president in the history of this country has refused to negotiate on the debt ceiling. I think that's where Republicans have a political opportunity. The Democrats think they have a political opportunity on the fact that the quote-unquote Republicans have shut the government down, which isn't really true, but they think there's political advantage there. But frankly, ultimately, the problem is both sides are simply trying to gain political advantage instead of getting solutions for the American people. And that's what the country's looking for right now, are simple solutions. I think they'll come to the table, but unfortunately, as Winston Churchill once observed, we do the right thing only after we've exhausted all the other options.
Is that the case?
Come back to the same thought. You don't negotiate with hostage takers. They end the hostage situation, then we can talk.
But neither side seems to be ready to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
what could the president...
Frankly, I hope that Tony and the Democrats keep saying this stuff, because first of all, analogizing members of Congress to hostage takers and talking about people with bombs strapped to their chest, it's not true, Tony.
It's the definition
and the fact of the matter is that politically that works against the Democrats ultimately. I mean, this language can't continue, and this position can't continue. To say we're not talking doesn't work for anybody.
What does this speak to our nation, to
Oh, I think our
nation's
nation's in real. I think our nation's in real deep doo-doo.
Yeah.
We're burning the candle at both ends on America's standing as the #1 nation in the world, and the Republicans don't seem to care that they have the ball in their court right now. I mean, if we default on our debt, there's lots of other countries who would love to have their currency be the primary currency of world trade.
So you say the Republicans are holding this hostage. Is there nothing the Democrats can do? Is that what you're saying? There's nothing?
I think you have to wait them out, because if you give in to hostage takers, then you give in to them all the time.
So it's a game. On both ends, it's a game.
Tanya,
hostage taking isn't a game.
The situation with the world stage and all this stuff, I mean, first of all, the problems that this country have are largely because of the profligate spending that's been going on in Washington, D.C., led largely by Tony's side of the aisle over the course of the past number of years. And this disaster called Obamacare.
Continuing resolution is Charlie.
The disaster called Obamacare. I'm a little afraid to speak out too loudly against Obamacare, having just seen that package about Ben Carson. I don't want to get audited. But it's incredibly unpopular among the American people. And all that congressional Republicans are now saying is, let's delay it for a year, just as Obama delayed it for a year for corporate America. Let's delay it for a year for individual citizens.
Tony, I know you got more, but we have to cut it off right there. We're a minute over.
All right. Well, you can see our political insiders every Tuesday right here on CBS 21 News at 5:30.